Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So it's Wednesday, so it's another look what I am watching and what have I been watching. So we have a list of assortment here. So not much. I have watched. Almost give stuff away. I have watched on top of this the Pitch Perfect trilogy with my wife, so that will not be covered. And a few other odd. The Missing, which was a digital copy. So I've said from now I'm going to try and keep it physical media. So, but The Missing was a really, really good movie. But let's get into what I have been watching. So first we have is Mississippi Grind. So this was one I got off HMV. I got it for a bargain. I think it was at half price. I think it was like £2 or £3. It stars Ryan Reynolds and Ben Mendelsohn, if that's his name, Mendelsohn, from obviously Ready Player One, Secret Invasion, and a few other bits. And as you can tell from the dice, it's all about poker. So it is Ben Mendelsohn's character. He is kind of a down on his luck poker player, and he kind of befriends a fellow poker player, which is kind of a wandering traveller person, which Ryan Reynolds plays, and it's them two kind of going down this journey. Ben's character unfortunately owes a lot of money. There's a lot of people after him, and he kind of tells it to Ryan Reynolds' character, Ben Affleck, and they kind of go on this trip to Mississippi to hopefully win a load of their money back, and then be able to pay their bills and stuff. And they've both got a lot of trauma and stuff going on in their lives, and it is surprisingly a really good movie. It has very lots of ups and downs, but for the majority of it, it is as far as I can read from other reviews and people, it's quite a true realization of people who have gambling as a habit, and it is quite scary of how bad people go for this. Like, there are times where you win and have a lot of money, and then they blow it, just because it's. And I'll use the example, like they do the horses and they lose their money, and then he's like, well, if somebody comes out the toilet with some glasses on, we'll carry on betting. And they come out, and I'm like, they just have to bet on everything, and it just shows how to like their core this addiction hits them. And it's quite, it is quite a small little kind of Cannes Film Festival film, but I thought it was actually really, really good. Quite surprising. As I picked it up on a whim, it was blind buy. And the next one is anticipation for this sequel. It is The Meg. It is only a kind of plain cover, and then obviously you got a different cover behind it, which I quite like that. Saw this at cinema. I quite like the first one. It's a switch your brain off, and Shark one. I do look forward to the second one, because I look forward to the second one. I kind of wanted the first one because I think there are quite a few people from the first one in the second one. Obviously, if you don't know, they are exploring a theory that obviously the bottom of the ocean, or what they believe is the bottom of the ocean, isn't the bottom of the ocean. There is a kind of a subsection to that below it, and that the bottom of the ocean is actually kind of a cold cloud, and because it is a very cold air, creatures like the megalodon sharks, which are down there, cannot get up, and unfortunately during this sub going down and having issues and having to come back up, they cause a break, or due to a blast of heat causes a break, and it allows a meg to get on the surface and causes chaos, and we assume there's something like that in the second one. I say it's a kind of, if you like the movie, just turn off your brain and enjoy a kind of shark attack first thing, then it's a good enjoyment, which I do like for it. It's not the best story, it's not the best animation and stuff in places, but overall it is just a good laugh and good enjoyment. So next one we have Hope Spring. We're going for a little bit of the rare ones here. So Hope Springs is Colin Firth. He is a artist who has come to Springs, I think Colorado, so it's a place in America, and he is trying to get away from his ex-Mimi driver, who is basically seeing someone else, and he meets Heather Graham, and they kind of form a bond while they're here. And it is a bit like that. It's a very cheesy kind of early 2000s or 1990s. I want to say like 2004. They made another film of this, which one I was trying to look it up, but yeah, I think it's about 2004, and it is it's quite a small kind of a chick flicky kind of heartfelt thing, the quiet country towns in America and stuff, and all the actors play their parts well. They've got a few other famous people in there and a lot of unknowns. And yeah, it's just a nice kind of a plain, simple story with a few twists and turns, but it was good overall. I really liked it. Then we have one that my wife got me for our anniversary. This is Batman The Long Halloween. So I thought I hadn't seen this. It does normally come in 2 parts, but this is complete. So it's about a 3-hour film, so it does take a lot. And it is a very complex story. They have, as you can see from the front cover, there are a lot of Batman characters that are included, and we can see there's even more on the back. Solomon Grundy there, the Calendar Man, Mad Hatter, and Scarecrow. And it is basically a kind of year-long story of where a criminal called Holiday is killing people on like Easter, Father's Day, Mother's Day, and stuff like this. And it's all a Batman kind of a very early Batman coming into his own. I think he declares himself that he is basically he's a crime fighter, a vigilante, but he's not a detective. And this is kind of part of him learning to be a detective and learning that him figuring out who Holiday is. And then obviously, like, we have Joker and Two-Face turn up. Obviously Two-Face doesn't start off as Two-Face, it's Harvey, and Harvey's helping him, and there's a lot of corruption and cartels and stuff. So it's very, very mixed. There's a lot going on here, and it is quite good. I've not read the book I believe this is based on, but I really, really liked it. So up was that, and then the final one we have, and it's a little bit, I left it till last, apart from the missing, which I thought was good, is this movie. It is House. So when I went to London with the guys, so that's Matt's V Movies and AJ's Movie Place, this is one I picked up. It was a few quid. Funnily enough as well, from AJ showing me that it has I'll show you. So this is the inside, but it could also be the outside, and then that is the normal back. So I do quite like the inside being at this, but it is obviously with the spline, you can turn it around, but I like it. So this is I want to say around 2010, I could be wrong. I wonder if it's 2013 even. I'm a few years out. A very interesting story. It is an hour long, and basically it starts off, it's partially to deal with AI. It has a very smooth animation style. You can see the title, there's a giraffe and stuff that's linked in there, and obviously if I try not go back, you can see the giraffe there and a few little teddies and stuff, and it's very interesting. And the premise of the story is basically a plane explodes, and this lad was on it, and unfortunately he passes away. The girl is left traumatized by it, and her dad or her uncle wants to help her out, so he has an artificial intelligent robot that then disguises itself as Hal, the main character, and it is him trying to realize, he knows he's a robot, he knows he's not Hal, but he's coming back into her life to kind of help her deal with the trauma of losing someone you care about. There are a few twists and turns in it which are very, very good and very, very well placed that you don't see coming. And just a very heartfelt movie about dealing with grief and just growing as a person, and just, I say, dealing with the grief but finding your way in this world that we call ours. And it was just a very nice story, even though it deals with such a, a graphic, not a graphic, but a very painful memory of losing someone you care about. But yeah, Hal, definitely my recommendation for the week. And that is everything I've been watching. So hope you've been enjoying. Look what I've been watching this week. I'm Cypher Sigma, and I'll definitely see you next one.